Okay, so I've just finished making my second little square, and I've done the 3 in the corner and come across 7. So now we're just going to chain 40, or whatever number you like, depending on the size of your yarn. 3, 4. That's 30, so that might be a bit small. Let's do another 10. Okay, so that's a little bit better. Again, like, you know, sometimes with the crochet you don't need to follow exactly. So things like that, it's nice that you've got a bit of flexibility. So we're going to go back into that stitch that we came out of, just making sure that that's not twisted. And we're just going to do another single crochet to secure that, and then we're going to finish off. Sorry. Now these are my slip stitches, and that's why I guess people don't like to do slip stitches to the corner, because then it slows you down just to do this part to finish off. But I like the end result, so did I? All right, sorry, just having a brain freeze. And then, yeah, should have, for all intents and purposes, should have had a stitch marker in that beginning spot, because, yeah, it's, you know, you could end up doing it 1.5 rounds before you realise, oh, I can't remember where the beginning was. So I'm just going to slip stitch in there to finish that off. You could tie off there, but I'm going to join these two now because I'm already in the corner, which is another nice thing about going across slip stitching and finishing in a corner, is that you don't have to then, if you stop there, you would have cut and then had to rejoin, whereas now I can sort of continue on. So yes, I have not weaved in any of my ends, but that's okay. So yes, I've slip stitched to join, but again, maybe if you're doing this round, identify with that middle stitch is in your 3 single crochets in the corner, so that you know where the center is. So that was my first one, and then I did 2 more to make 3 into that round. I'm going to slip stitch into that one because that's the middle of those, that's the middle of the 3. So when you're joining, you could sew this if you prefer, but I, you know, don't want to have to thread as many needles. I have an aversion to that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those 2 wrong sides together. So you'll hear right side and wrong side. So that's why it's also good sometimes just to leave your center tail unsewn in, because at least that's an identifying space for you as well. So I've gone to that middle one there, and for the very first, and make sure that, you know, you have these facing the same direction. There's no point putting it all together this way and then you realize that it's, you know, lopsided. I mean, you know, that's called creativity in crochet when you stuff up. But anyway, so for this first one, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to go in the middle of that one from the outside, and I'm going to just slip stitch that on to join, so then I can line those up. And again, there's lots and lots of ways, and you know, heaps of videos on how you join your squares together, but I like this particular method because I like that little raised edge. So this is just a slip stitch join, so I'm going to come under the next single crochet that I did there, and I'm going to pull through and pull through again. That's just a slip stitch. Then I'm going to go on to the other side, and because I know that I started in the same spot as this one, this is the opposite, directly opposite, and I'm going to pull through and just do a slip stitch there. Then I'm going to come back this one and then go to the next stitch and pull through, and then the next stitch on that side, that next single crochet, I'm going to pull through. Then the next one on this side, and the next one on that side. So if you find this too fiddly and you want to find another YouTube tutorial on sewing your squares together, there's heaps out there. I'm just showing you this one. So I guess it's a bit hard to see on this small, but it does give you this little raised embellished side. This one, I'm saying that now and then I'm realizing I just single crocheted all the way around that one, but now I've started doing this, so I'm going to continue. This is the edging that I did on the water bottles, the water bottle holder, and I'll just show you there so you can see that, maybe hopefully see that a bit better. It's just more decorative. This is what it is. So you can just see it's a little bit more decorative edging on that. So yeah, I forgot that I just single crocheted. So that's the beauty. Then you could just you know, it's the same thing. You find the direct opposite and you single crochet those two together. Now I've started this, I will continue. So come across, slip stitch, find the one on the other panel directly opposite and slip stitch. So the finished product will just look, this will look just slightly different to a single crochet all the way around. So if I was going to do single crochet, I would be going through both this way, both loops on either side, and they're still matched up. Pull through and single crochet and do that all the way along. But I like this type of embellishment, and it ends up being a bit flatter, whereas when you single crochet, this becomes this is the right side you're single crocheting around, but on the back of it, it looks different because that's the back of a single crochet. So, you know, look, if you're not too fussed, like I'm not too fussed about that for this particular project, but I do this join for a lot of my items because I think it looks nice and I don't have to sew. So I'm just slip stitching from the front of both panels and following that down. And again, what seems absolutely fiddly when you're first starting to crochet eventually becomes second nature, and I guess I like this because of the result that it gives me. And because we did the 3 single crochet to give us a rounded corner there, We don't need to do anything fancy. I might eat my words in a minute, but let's just keep going. So we've just come around the corner. And I just realised that the skin on my nails all gone, and that looks really ugly for video. I shouldn't have been so close. Alright, so I've come around the corner and you can see it's still rounded because we had the 3 there. The other option I could have done 3 into the middle of the stitch, but I think that's looking okay, and I'm just going to continue with that all the way around. So if your stitch count was right on both your squares, they need to be exactly the same number, so that when you're joining like for like stitches from one panel onto the other, and we're just slip stitching this way. You can crochet, as I said, single crochet, or you can slip stitch a slightly different way without crossing the panels like this. But again, I just like this stitch way of doing it, and I make some little girls halter tops and wherever I can, because it also you know, apart from being a little embellishment, it's easy to explain which is the right side and the wrong side to wear your item if you've got a bit of detail that highlights that. Again, you could make little halter tops and all sorts of things with these squares, because you just lay them out and make them the squares as big as you want. Bags, as I said, I've shown you the water bottle holders I did just by making 4. Now they're a bit trickier because you've got to put a base on them. Alright, let's just see how that's going. So how cute's that? Just by doing that little edge along there. So I think this is really cute, and I was just, you know, because I jibber jabber while I'm crocheting, videoing, I was just wondering how nice would it be if instead of, I don't know, do kids do party favors anymore? I'm way beyond what's current in the world of kids, because my youngest is 33, so I'm way out of the loop. But imagine having things like this that you could give for party favors. You know, they've got something that's a little reminder and go home with for the day instead of something else. All right, so yeah, that looks daggy because I hadn't sewn that one in yet, but I've just come up to the middle of there. So now I can I might have gone one extra on that one because I was talking and not counting. That looks like the middle. That's why stitch markers are your best friend in crocheting. All right, so that's that. So I'm just going to hide all these for a minute, all these daggy bits. So yeah, if you've got enough sewing to sew in all these ends, why would you want to have to sew the piece together as well? Just more sewing. Trying to minimize that. All right, so how cute is that? And slip that through there, and then you've got a little pocket, and you put things in. So I'll just show you how I would attach it. There's my water bottle bag. So if you've got a bag, I mean, I've got a cane basket, and I have one of these on the side, and I, you know, I've just got a little roll of perfume and things like that. It sits perfectly, so it's not stuck in the depths of your bag. But all I'm going to do, so if you're going to use this, you don't want to have it full of things first. You just got to have, if that's your bag strap, grab that, pop that through, and there's just a little extra bag that you can put a few things in. So if you've got your water bottle bag, and then you want to have, you know, if you've got a zinc stick or anything, so yeah, you could make it keep going round and have it a bit bigger. That's the one I made with the scrap yarn that I had, because I thought, oh, if I can't buy any more of this yarn, what am I going to make? And I'll just use up the last 4 balls. So I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial without too much jibber jabber from me, and as always, happy crocheting, and I'll see you soon. Bye.